So now the agenda is to start with the loops. When I say with the loops, as the name says, loops is something which is used to do something repeatedly. Repeatedly in terms of, if I say that print a number from 1 to 100. We tell you to print a number from 1 to 100. What you will do as of now? What I will do as of now, I will do something like this. Print 1. Okay, then I say print 2. Okay, then I say print 3. Okay, 100, right? I can take like around 5 minutes of time and I can say print 1, print 2, print 3, print 100. Assume that I'll ask you to print number from 1 to 1000. So that time what happens is I can't keep on printing print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4, print 5. So I must have some solution for it. So the programming principle says we have a concept called as loops. Loops mean to say that keep on iterating something, keep on doing something unless and until the condition is satisfied. Unless and until your condition is reached, unless and until what you have to achieve is been achieved, keep on doing this is what loop means to say. Okay, now comes the question. Okay, so how to do with the loop? When I say that loop in Python are of two types, that is while loop and the for loop. Okay, while loop and the for loop. Okay, there are the two different loops present in Python, in any programming language for that matter, not only Python. And we have something like for each loop. Okay, so we can see all those things later. An advanced level of loops, like we have for each loop, we have iterators. We can see that later, not a problem. But basically, this is very important to understand the for loop and the while loop. See, when you work with Python, the loop is abstract. Abstract in terms of we can't actually understand how the loop will work. Okay, but in other programming languages, the things are very clear. Okay, mean to say that they'll tell you explicitly how the loops are working. I'll just tell you in other programming languages how loop would look. Okay, loop is actually having three parameters. It says initialization. It says initialization. Then I say comparison. Then I say increment or decrement. Initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. These are the three different operations present inside the loop. Initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. What is initialization? Where to start with? Where you are supposed to start? Whether to start printing the number from 1 or number from 2 to where or 3 to where, that is where to start with is called as initialization. Then comparison. Till what number you have to print? That is comparison. Then comes increment or decrement. Every time you must increment by 1. What it means? For example, if you want to print the number from 1 to 100, it has to be something like this. It will say for the number must start from 1. Okay, start from 1 and it must go till 100. Then I say start from 1, go till every time do one time, that is increment one time. Start from 1, go till 100, every time increment by 1. Start means to say what happens? First 1 would be printed, next 2, next 3, next 4, next 5, till 100 it will print all the numbers. This is how the loop works in other programming languages. Okay, coming to Python, the loop is very abstract. Okay, the loop is very abstract. That is, you can't actually understand how the loop internally works, but this is how loop actually says. It has three parameters: initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. Okay, now I'll teach you one of the function which is called as, okay, let it be there. I'll teach you one of the function which is called as range function. Okay, when I say range function, the range function is actually similar to this initialization, comparison, increment. I say range, and I say range, open the bracket, then I say start from 1, end at 100. Every time go by 1, mean to say that it will start from 1, it will go till 100, it won't take 100. I will repeat, it will start from 1, it will go till 100, it will not take 100, it increment by 1. Mean to say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it reaches till 100, 100 will not be printed. Okay, it will print till 99. This is about the range function. That is, range has three parameters, which is initialization, okay, then where to stop, then how to increment. If you want to know something about the range, what to do? Help of range, correct, right? So we can also do help of range. You can write later. I can just write help of range. So I'll show you. Okay, when I say range, see it as start, stop, step. Where to start with, where to stop, and how to increment, how to step. Okay, so when I say start, stop, step, I say range. I say start at 1, end at 101, and step by 1. So it will say I will start from 1, go till 100, and I'll increment by 1 always. This is what the range function mean to say. Okay, if you are clear with the range function, okay, I'll go for the next one. I'll go for the loops. So what loops will do is, Okay, I'll write a syntax for loop. I say for loop, then I will assign the variable. I'll assign the variable by name I, J, K, L, M, and whatever you want a variable name. I just like I. For I, then I say in. This is a syntax. For variable name in, then I write a function. For variable name in, then say a function range of start from 1, go till 101, then end at an increment by 1. Then if I say put colon, tab space, then I say print I. Then I say print I. So what will be the output? It prints till 100. It prints till 100. Okay. How is it so? As I told you, the range has 3 parameters. Initialization, that is start, stop, and the step. You're starting from 1. Okay. Then you're stopping at 101. You're incrementing every time by 1. Okay. This is what the range function will do. Okay. Now what it will do is every time it takes the number. Okay. It takes 1, put it to I. It takes 2, put it to I. It takes 3, put it to I. It takes 4, put it to I. So every time it takes some number, put it to I. Takes some number, put it to I. This is what it will do. Okay, is it clear? Now what I do is this is a simple range function. If I say that I need to print the numbers from 1 to 50. If I not print the number from 1 to 50, I say 1 comma 101. Rather than 101, I say 1 comma 51 comma 1. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 till 50. Now if my question would be, okay, okay, I need to print even numbers. I need to print even numbers from 2 to 10. Oh, you want to print 10 also? Yes. Okay, then what I do is I say start from 2, end till 11 because I need 2 also. Then I require even numbers, no? So I'll increment by 2. So what I'll get now? I'll be getting as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, now you say I need odd numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, you need odd numbers, start from 1, go till 11. Oh, you need till 10. Okay, yes, till 10. Then only till 9. Okay, then every time increment by 2. Now in this case, what happens? It says 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I need the factors of 5. We need the factors of 5 till where? Till 100. Okay, then I say 5 comma 101, 5 comma 101 comma 5. So you get the factors of 5. This is how we need to say. This is how we need to control the loops. This is how we need to control the range function. Okay, this is about the for loop. Is this the only use case of the for loop? No. This is not the only use case of the for loop. Now I'll tell you one more use case of the for loop. I'll create a list. I say L1 is equal to, then I create 3 fruits. Apple, okay, then I say mango, okay, then I say banana, okay, I say banana. Okay. So these are the 3 different fruits what I have. Okay, now I need to print apple, I need to print mango, I need to print banana. Just say L1, sir. This is okay, L1. Yes, I know, understand. I have apple, mango, banana. It will be printed like L1. I want to print it individually. First I have to print apple, next I have to print mango, then I have to print banana. Okay, very simple. Do L1 of 0, then do L1 of 1. Okay, then do L1 of 2. L1 of 2. Okay, I'll write print everywhere. I say print L1 of 0, then I say print L1 of 1. Okay, then I say print L1 of 2. Okay, I say print L1 of 0, print L1 of 1, then I say print L1 of 2. Okay, good, making sense. Fine, so I'll just print all these 3. Now I'll try to run. It says apple, mango, banana. Assume that you have 100 fruits like this. I must print L1 of 0, L1 of 1, L1 of 2, L1 of 3, L1 of 4 till L1 of 99. Okay, is there any option? You people already know we have for loop. So for loop can help us to doing so. Okay, let this be like this. Okay, I'll try to write using the for loop. Okay, now what I do is for I in range of. Okay, for I in range of. Okay, now I know the length of L1. Is there any function to know the length of L1? Okay, if you ask me, is there any function? Okay, and one more thing to be clear is if I give just like range of 3, what will be the output? The output will be 0, 1, 2. I'm not giving increment. Okay, I'm not giving start, stop, step. I'm just giving 3. So output would be 0, 1, 2. Understand? Output will be 0, 1, 2. If I give just 5, the output would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the range. Okay, so in the range. So now I whatever the value you give, it continues till that number. Okay, now is there any function to know the length of the list? To know the length of the list, so that what I can do is I can every time put, I can go till that number and take that number and put it in I. Yes, we have some function called as len. We have some function called as len. So now what I do is for I in range of, I say len of L1, then what I do here is I say print L1 of I. We'll see. You got apple, mango, banana. How is it so? If you ask me, I tell you, when I say range len of L1, I will not print L1 of I. I'll just print I. Let us see what will be the output. It is 0, 1, 2. I'll just print len of L1. I'll just print len of L1. Let us see what is the output. It says 3. When I say 3, that is range of 3. When I say range of 3, what will be the output? When I say range of 3, what will be the output? I'll see. Okay, I'll say print. Okay, I'll write a loop. I'll say for I in range of 3. Okay, then I say print I. Let us see what gets printed. 0, 1, 2. See, I'm slicing now. I'm slicing step by step. Okay, now I have a function by name len of L1. The len of Ln will give you the length of the list. Okay, I'm taking the range of that length. It is range of 3. Range of 3 will give me 0, 1, 2. The first time I will be 0. Second time I will be 1. Third time I will be 2. But I don't require I. I require the fruit. I require the fruit present in the location of I. That is fruit present in 0th location. Fruit present in first location, fruit present in second position. So what I do is I do something like print L1 of 0, L1 of 1, L1 of 2. Rather than doing that, I can do as L1 of I. When I do L1 of I, it takes the L1's position. It will say L1 of 0, L1 of 1, then L1 of 2. So the output would be apple, mango, banana. Okay, this is about the for loop. I'll do while loop. Before me going to while loop, okay, I want to people to ask for any questions. Go ahead for any questions.
Sir, in the for I in range len L1 you wrote, right? Instead
Yes.
of len L1, if we write range L1, what will come for I in range L1?
So when I say range L1, see, it actually range is expecting a number. Assume.
Okay.
Range you are expecting a number. But if I pass you a string, what happens? Error.
It will give
because
number.
It says I am expecting the number from you. But you are giving me the list. I don't want list. I require the number. So when you say range of L1, it says L1 is a list, boss. I require a number. Give the number. No. So that would be the error. Got it? You got it?
Got it.
Okay. Range is expecting a number. So I have to give the number only. But I'm not giving the number. I'm giving length of L1. Length of L1 gives me the number. So it is okay. Not a problem. Okay. But if you directly give L1, it says you're passing me the list, but I'm expecting the number. How can you pass the list? I don't understand what is the list. Range won't understand what is the list. Range understands only numbers. Okay, good. Any other questions? Any other questions? Before going to the next one, I'll give an assignments. Okay, as you know, we people need to strictly do the assignments. I'll be giving the assignments. At that time, you can't take my help or any of our team's help. You people have to do all that on your own. So make sure that you people are asking the doubts. Whatever doubts you have, we'll clear it. I'll clear it now itself.
Actually, I came a little bit late, so
yeah, I understand. Don't worry. I've already recorded the video. I'll be sending you that. You can see it. Okay, don't worry. Okay. So any other questions? Any other concerns with respect to the for loop? No. Shall we go for the while loop? Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. I will go for the while loop. Okay. When it comes to the while loop, see, the while is also a loop itself. It is also used to do the iterative operations itself, provided the while loop, all the conditions will not be there in the same line. It will be in the 3 different lines. What do you mean by 3 different lines? That is the initialization in a different line, comparison in a different line, increment or decrement in a different line. I told you there are 3 parameters with respect to the loops. That is initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. Okay, in for loop everything was happening in the same line because range function was there to help you start, stop, step. But in the while loop we have to do explicitly in 3 different lines. If you ask me how, assume that I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10 using while loop. Okay, I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10 using while loop. How to do? What to do is I say I is equal to 0. Okay, I is equal to 0. I'm initializing the value of I is 0. Then I check for the condition. I check for the condition. I say while the value of I is less than or equal to 10. Okay, while I is not equal to 10, then I say print I. I say print I. Again, remember about the indentation. I'm starting the while loop, so I'm giving the space. Okay, I'll say print I. Then what I do is I do I is equal to I plus 1. So initialization I is equal to 0. Comparison I less than or equal to 10. Increment I equal to I plus 1. That is initialization, comparison, increment. All these 3 happened in a single loop. Okay, this is about the while loop. Now I'll try to print it. It says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is about the while loop. If you ask me, okay, Vinay, like I want to print the number from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Can I do that? Yes. Rather than starting from I is equal to 0, better you start it from I equal to 1. Better start from I is equal to 10. Okay, and then rather than comparing I less than or equal to 10, now compare the value of I greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now print I, rather than incrementing I, decrement I. So now I get 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, now if I ask you a question, I want people to answer now. If I want something like 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, what to do?
Increment by 2.
Increment or decrement?
Sorry, decrement.
Decrement by 2, right? Okay, I'll say I is equal to I minus 2. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. Got it? Is it fine? Okay, this is with respect to the while loop. That is, we are comparing the two together. Now I will give you a use case. I want you people to handle the use case. I want you people to think for the logic and help me to write the pseudocode. Okay, write a pseudocode. The question what I can pseudocode in terms of, I don't expect you to write the exact syntax. Okay, I know the programming is not so difficult to understand, but I want people to think. The given use case is I want to print. Okay, I want to print. Okay, I want to check whether the number is even. If the number is even, I want to print as even number. If the number is odd, I want to print as odd number. Number is even, I want to print as even number. The number is odd, I want to print it as odd number. Okay, while accepting the input from the user. How to do so? I want to accept a number from the user. Then I must check whether the number is even or odd. Okay, how to do?
We can take the input from the user by using input function.
We'll start that. Okay, I'll write as print enter the number. I'll say print enter the number.
Enter the number.
Okay, it's always good that we follow writing everything inside the function. So I don't want to write inside the statement. I'll create a function by name def check. Okay, it's always good to write inside the function. I create a function by name check. Okay, now I'll start writing. I say print enter the number. Okay, tell me, go ahead. I say print enter the number. User enter the number now. Next.
Take that into one variable.
Take into the variable. I'll say num. I'll say num. Okay. Then
num is equal to input.
Is that num is equal to input? Is that num is equal to input? Are you sure? Anyone need to comment on it? Anyone has a comments on it? He says that num is equal to input. Shall I write like this?
Int
of input. Yes. Okay. Got it. It is int of input. If I take input, it will be taking as a string. So I say int of input. Okay. I took num is equal to int of input. Then what to do?
You just check the conditions.
Condition. So you told you need to check the condition. Conditions even or odd. So I need to use the conditional statements. So I need to check whether the number is even or odd. How would you check?
If number is divisible by 2.
Okay, if number is divisible by 2. So now I say if I want to check for the divisible, I need to use a modulus operator. I say if number modulus with 2, that is number when divided with 2 gives me the remainder as 0, then I say print it is even number. Print it is even number. Okay, if divided by 2 will not give me the remainder as 0, then I say else, I say print odd number. Okay, now you must ask me, what is this modulus? When I say modulus, see, I have something like 5 mod 2. When I say 5 modulus with 2, 5 divided by 2 will not divide the exact number, it will give me the remainder as 1. So 5 mod 2 answer is 1. 8 mod 2. When I say 8 mod 2, the answer is 0. When I say 10, when I say, yeah, go ahead. Any doubts? Okay, so when I say 10 mod 2, when I say 10 mod 2, the answer is 0 because 10 divided by 2 is 5, the remainder is 0. So modulus will give us a remainder. So whenever I take the number, if that number with modulus with 2 gives me the remainder as 0, then I say that yes, it's a perfectly divisible number, it is an even number. Else I say it is not an even number, it is an odd number. Okay, now I'll just run this and check the code. I'll run this. Now I need to call this. The function is being created, right? I don't get any output because you didn't call the function. So call the function. Call the function by name check. I'll just call the function by name check. Now I'll ask the user to enter the number. He'll enter 3. He say odd number. Okay, because 3 modulus with 2 is equal to 3 when 2 ones are 2, the remainder is 1. Okay, because 3 when divided by 2, remainder is 1. So so it is not equal to 0. Else it will come here. It will print as a odd number. Okay, this is what you need to understand. Just like this, I will be posting you an assignment. I want you people to try that assignment on your own so that you'll get a complete hold on the conditional statements and the loops. Okay. Okay, so these are different programs. What I tell you to do, I want the people to do it and try it on your own and submit the assignment back so that I will evaluate if posted within the deadline. Okay, posted within the deadline. Okay, I say this every time. Okay, I say this every time, and as I told you, there are candidates who really don't do. Okay, if they're not doing, then you will be under loss, and I won't entertain you to clear your doubts. Okay, and if you're really doing it on time, then make sure that you people will be really doing it good, and I'm there to help you for till the end of the course. Okay, the thing is, I want people to do the assignment provided I want you to revise the concept of this loops and the conditional statements. Now, if you have any doubts with respect to loops or with respect to conditional statements, please ask, or else let us take only with respect to loops. Any doubts with respect to loops for anyone? Okay, I'll just revise the loops from starting. Okay, so when we went to the loop is actually out of two types. That is the for loop and the while loop. The for loop is having the 3 parameters: initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. That is, want to do some action repeatedly, want to do some activity repeatedly. Assume that printing the number from 1 to 1000, printing the number from 1 to 10,000. All these cases will happen repeatedly. If you want to do something like this, okay, you have to use something called as loops. When it comes to loops, okay, there are two types of loops. That is the for loop and the while loop. As I told you, in Python, it is abstract. Means to say you can't really understand how the loop will actually work. So I told you with an example that loop is having 3 parameters: initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. This will be supported by the range function in Python. Okay, then I told you the help of range. When I say range function, we have 3 characteristics: start, stop, then step. Okay, start from 1, stop at 101, step by 1. Mean to say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 100. That is, it won't take 101. It takes till 100. Every time it will step by 1. That is 1. Then 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. It works like that. Okay. Now I showed you how to display the same. Okay. To display the same, I have something like for I in range of 5, 101, 5. That is, start from 5, end at 101, and every time go by 5. Mean to say that 5, then plus 5, 10, then plus 5, 15, then plus 5, 20, then plus 5, 20, 25. It goes till 101. This is what the output what you got. Okay, this is respect to the for loop. Okay, now I told you, is there any other use cases of for loop? Yes, we have something like apple, mango, banana in the list. I want to print. Okay, I want to print
sir,
L1
for range.
Yes.
Yes. Sir, for range, if we want to decrement, then
yes.
we are taking the negative number in the last like
Yes,
comparison.
I told you, no? Yeah, I told you. Okay. For example, in the range, I want to print the negative numbers in terms of, okay, doubt is, okay, I want to print some negative numbers in the range. How to do so? Okay, I'll show you. For example, I say for, okay, what negative numbers? Let us take from 0 to -10. Okay, let us 0 to -10. I say for I in range of, I say that start from 0, end at -10. Okay, and every time it will by -1. If I do like this, we'll understand. I'm just trying to clear your doubt. Okay, okay. So if I run this, let's see what we get. You got 0, -1, -2, -2. Got it? Okay. Similarly, you can start from -10, go till -20. Okay, you get -10, -11, -12, -13, -14. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so now I have something like a list. List as apple, mango, banana. I can print something like L1 of 0, only apple gets printed. L1 of 1, only banana, mango gets printed. L1 of 2, the banana gets printed. Okay, provided. Okay, I want to, if I have 100 elements in the list, how to do so? It is not possible to keep on printing all the elements like L1 of 0, L1 of 1, L1 of 2. Use the list. How to use the list? How to use? Please mute. No, you can just mute. If anyone is talking in the back end, please mute it. Okay, so now what I do is, for I in range of len of L1. Len of L1 will give me the length of the list L1. The length of the list L1 is what? It is 3. So it will give me range of 3. Range of 3 will give me 0, 1 and 2. Okay, what I do is L1 of I. That is, I would be 0 for the first time. I would be 1. I would be 2. So L1 of I is L1 of 0, L1 of 1, L1 of 2. L1 of 0 is apple, L1 of 1 is mango, L1 of 2 is banana. So that would be printed onto the screen. Okay, this is about using the range inside the using the range inside the loops. Okay, so next we came to the while loop. In the while loop we have the same, like whatever has been happening in the for loop, the same happens in the while loop, but it has to be the 3 different lines. Initialization in a different line, comparison in a different line, increment or decrement is in a different line. Initialization, comparison, then increment or decrement. Initialize I value to 0, compare whether I value is less than or equal to 10, then do I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, this is what happens with respect to the while loop. Okay, so here I can if you want me to start from 10, initialize to 10. Okay, go till what? Go till 100. Every time step by 5. So just do I is equal to I plus 5. So what you get now is you're getting 10. Okay, what's the problem? The problem is to I less than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 100. Okay, less than or equal to 100. Okay, I'll get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This with respect to the while loop. Okay, what you need to understand is increment, comparison, initialization, comparison, increment or decrement. This is initialization. Okay, this is comparison, this is increment. You can also do decrement also. Okay, if in case, if I say that I is equal to 10, then I say I less than or equal to 8, then what will be the output? Question for the people. What will be the output?
It will not execute that. It will not come inside that loop.
Very good. It says that I can't come inside the loop because you say that I is equal to 10. You're trying to check whether 10 is less than or equal to 8. No way the 10 can be less than or equal to 8. So it does not output. It is nothing. It won't even enter the loop. The condition is false. The condition is false. Does it make sense? Okay. Now what I do is I say I is equal to 10. I less than or equal to 100. Then I don't increment here. Okay. I is equal to, I don't do I is equal to I plus 5. Then what will be the output?
Continuously it will be executed.
We keep on.
It keeps on executing. There is no stop at all because you are not told the condition. You are not incremented it. So the value of I will be 10 first time. Second time I will be 10. Third time 10. Fourth time 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. It goes. It keeps on. It keeps on. It keeps on going unless until the RAM is filled. Okay, it's an infinite loop. This we call it as a small error. It's a small virus. Okay, if anyone does such a mistake, it's a big problem. Okay, so you need to understand all the 3 parameters: initialization, comparison, increment or decrement has to be there. Is it okay? Did you people follow it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Any doubts and any questions on the loops and the conditions made? Okay. I don't want to rush you because I wanted to do something with respect to classes and objects. Okay. We're left out with the last topic, which is classes and objects, which we need to continue and we'll take it in the next class. So this week, this week, okay, we'll be having something with respect to assignment on the loops and the conditional statements. To make sure that you'll be doing it without fail. I'll be telling you one of the last program with respect to the loops, okay, because your assignment question will be based on this. If in case I have to do a pattern program, something like this. Okay, since we are data science programmers, we are not so much concerned with respect to Python programming, but I understand since the people will be attending an interviews, I want the people to really know this kind of questions so that they can answer. Okay, if this is a question, this is a kind of scenario, these kind of programs are asking interviews, then what to do? What to do is you need to understand something with respect to the loops. Okay, I will tell you one, and I want to people to try with respect to assignments. Okay, make sure. Okay, now what I do is I have start program like this. What I'll do is how many rows I have? Can you people tell me how many rows I have?
3.
3 rows.
3.
How many columns do I have?
3.
3 columns, 3 rows and the 3 columns. First of all, whenever the question is given with respect to the pattern programs like this, it is not a logic, like there's a logic behind it, but it's an interview questions usually. So whenever the program is given like this to you, you need to understand whether it is a dependent program or independent program. Okay, dependent program and independent program, what it means. If the number of rows are same to the number of columns, then that is called as independent program. If the number of columns is dependent upon the number of rows, then that is called as a dependent program. What it means? I mean to say that, okay, if in the row number 1, how many columns are there? 1 column. In row number 2, how many columns are there? 2 columns. In row
2.
number 3, 3 columns. So this kind of program are called as a dependent program. These are called as dependent program. Okay, then what do you mean by independent program? If the question was given like this. So these are called as independent program. How many number of rows are there with respect? How many number of columns are there with row number 1?
3.
3.
Row number 2, 3.
3.
Row number 3, 3. So I am
3.
not bothered about the row number, and my column number will all, my number of columns will be same always. So this kind of program are called as independent program. So given the particular question, given the particular pattern, first you must identify whether it's a dependent program or independent program. That was the first step number 1. If given the question as dependent program, then what to do? I want people to understand. Always you need to enter the row. Okay, always need to enter the row. Then need to enter the column. Assume that when person comes inside the classroom or to the meeting, he don't directly step into the column, right? He comes to the row, then he go to the particular column. Here also,
Yes.
we need to go to the row, then to the column. That is, we need to define 2 loops. One loop is for the row. One more loop is for the column. Okay, one loop is for the row, one more loop for the column. When I say one loop for the row and one loop for the column, how many for loops are required? 2 for loops are required. One loop, one for loop for the row, one for loop for the column. Okay, now I want you people to help me. I require 3 rows. Can you tell me the for loop? Can anyone help me how to write the for loop for this? I'll point out the name. Can you people help? Okay, just point out the name. I can say like, Rakshit, can you help me on this? I need to get 3 rows. How can I get? How can I write the for loop? Rakshit, you are there? Rakshit, is it audible? Okay. Kiran?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kiran. Can you tell me, Kiran, I require 3 numbers. How to write a for loop? That is, I require 3 rows. How to write the for loop?
Yeah, first we write syntax for.
Okay, for.
That.
Yes, go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah, for I.
Very good. I
And then we want to print the rows. Yeah, int.
No, I in for I
Yeah,
in.
I int.
Range.
Okay, range. Very good. Range.
Yes.
Okay, so you require 3 rows, right? So what I must write inside the range?
3.
3. Yes, you can write inside the like 3. So what I will get? I'll write 0, 1, 2.
2.
Okay, so I can also write
Yes.
like start from 0, end at 3, every time go
3.
by 1. This is also fine.
1. Yes.
Okay. So now I've entered the loop. So I'll get 3 loops. 0, 1, 2. I get 3 rows. Okay, now I'll go for the columns. Okay, if the program is this, okay, now what I must do is, if the program is this, what I have to do is, I need to enter the column. I have entered the row, I need to enter the column. How many columns are there? I have 3 columns. So how can I write the for loop now? How can I write the for loop?
For J.
Very good. For
For
J, I can't take I again because I is taken by the first loop. I need to take the J. I say for J, good, in range
0, 3,
very good, 0, 3, 1. Okay, 0, 3, 1. Making sense? Okay. So now what I must do is, I have taken for loop inside one more for loop. That is, inside the row, I am taking one more column. So one for loop for the row. This for loop is for the row. Okay, and this for loop is for the column. Okay, this for loop is for the row. Okay, this for loop is for the column. But compiler won't understand. Compiler thinks it's just a loop. You need to make the logic. I'll tell you how to make the logic now. What you have to print always? What you want to print? You want to print star, right? You want to print star. I'll say end equal to space. That is always end with a space. End with because I have a space here, right? So I say end is equal to space. Okay. Now I'll say something like print slash t. Okay, I'll say print slash n. That means also fine. Print slash n. Okay, I'll just run the loop. Okay, can you see this? I'll explain you the logic. Concentrate properly. I'll explain you the logic. Okay, I say here as I'm starting the value of I. I'm starting the value of I from 0. Now I'll write a loop here. I try to trace it out. I'll trace it out. Okay, I say I'm starting with I value. I'm starting from, I have 3 values here. What are the values? 0, 1,
3 and 1.
2. 0, 1, 2. Okay, what's the value of J? J will be 0, 1, 2. Okay, these are values. Now what I'll do, first I'll take the value of I. The value of I first time the value of I would be 0. Understand properly. The value of I first time will be 0. It will come inside. And make the value of J equal to 0. Value of J is equal to 0. Now I is 0, J is 0. That is 0th row and 0th column. Okay, 0th row and 0th column. It is in this position now. Now what I say is, I say print star. Okay, the star would be printed. Now what I am doing, it is not ending with the column. It's there in the column loop now. The column is not at false yet. So what it will do, it will increment the value of J. After that it will go for I. Unless and until the J is true, it will be remain inside the J loop only. It won't go to the I loop. In this case, what happens? The J value will be 0. J value is 0 now. Now the J value will become 1. Okay, now what is the condition? 0th row, first column. 0th row, first column. Oh, this position, 0th row, first column. So what has to be printed here? Star. Now again, it will go to, it is there in J loop only. It will make J as 2. Okay, what to do? 0th row, second column, print star. Okay, now the J value will become 3. Now tell me, is the condition true? Is the J condition true now? What is the value of J? Got disconnected. No, I just reached it. Okay. Okay. So now when I say what is the value of J?
1.
Value of J is? Okay, the value of J is 3. Now tell me, I'm given the condition as the J value is, the J is suitable till 0 to 3. That is 3 must not be, that is 0, 1, 2 only. But the value of J is 3. Don't you think the condition is false?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, don't you think the condition is false?
Yes, sir.
Correct, right? So what has to do? It will go outside the J loop and increment the I loop, and it will make I value as 1. I value as 1. So when it makes I value 1, before going to the I loop, before going to the out loop, what happens? It will say print slash n. Mean to say that it says I will come for the next line. So now it is there in the next line. So the compiler is there here. It is there here. Now the I value will become 1. I value. So 1 is always, of course, less than or equal to 3. So it will come inside. So one more time it will enter the loop. Again it will make the J value as 0. Again it will make J value as 0. Now check the condition. 0th row, first row, 0th column, what to print? Star. Okay, first row, 0th column, what to print? Star. So print star. Okay, now what to do? Increment j. J will become 1. Okay, first row, first column, what to print? Star. So print star. Okay, now what next? Again print, make the j value as 2. First row, second column, make the value as star. Okay, print star. Now what to do? Make j as 3. Oh, 3 is not less than or equal to 2. So the condition is false. So what to do? Come to the next line, because you have given print /n. As soon as the j loop is false, I must go to next line. Okay, I'll go to next line. So I'll come to 2. I'll come to 2. Now what to do? I'll go here. Then I'll make the j value as 2. Come inside once again and make again the j value as 0. Now I am in 0th row. I'm in second row, 0th column. Again star. Again star. Again star. So this would have become 0, 1, 2, 3. Condition is false. Come to next line. This is a third line now, third row. But again I make the value of I as 3. Oh, this condition is also false now. Correct, right?
Yes.
Because you told I value has to be true till 0, 1, 2. Okay, so because you are starting from 0, ending at 3, it is true till 0, 1 and 2. You are given 3 also. This condition is also false. Very good. This condition is also false. So now comes the class. Now what to do? Now what to do is the program terminates. This is what the output what you get. This is with respect to the for loop. This is how you need to understand the logic with respect to the pattern programs. You got it?
Yes.
If the question would have been asked, so I want people to revisit the video. I'll upload it. I want people to revisit the video. Then you'll understand completely. Okay. Okay. If you understood, well and good. If you're not understood, please revisit the video. Okay. So now, if my question is something like this, I want the pattern program like this. Then what to do? This one is dependent program. This one is dependent program. The dependent program case. Okay. The column is dependent on the row. So rather than me putting here as 3, what I will do, that would be the assignment what I want you to do. Okay, what to do with respect to the dependent program, how to solve this kind of scenario, how to handle this scenario. I want people to understand the logic and want to trace out, and I want people to do. I'll just give a hint for you people. The hint is row number 1, 1 column, row number 2, 2 columns, row number 3, 3 columns. That is, the number of columns is dependent on the number of rows. That is, rather than me putting as range of 0, 3, 1. Okay, so I'll depend on my okay. So in this case I will depend on my row number. That is, rather than putting j in range of 0, 3, 1, I need to print some other variable. What to print, that I want you people to think. If I just put I, I'll see what will be out. See, I got this. If I just put I plus 1, okay, I got like this. You got an output. But how is it so? How did you get that? I want people to trace out. Okay, is it fine for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, shall we do the? Can you people do the assignment? Okay, given assignment, people, I want people to do it. Okay, this is with respect to the loops and the condition statements and the part of question. Okay, in the next class we'll be doing the classes and the objects. Then we'll be going for the topic of data science with Python. Okay, that is the packages of data science, which is NumPy, Pandas, then visualization, then statistics, and so on. Okay, is it okay for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if I ask you individual questions. Okay, Anaga, please mute your audios. Mute your audios. There's a disturbance in our voice. I'll ask the questions. You can please mute the audios. Okay, Anaga, any doubts?
No, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Great. Varshita?
No, sir.
Gurraj?
No, sir.
Hari?
No, sir. No doubt.
Kiran?
No, sir.
Muniraju?
So I have one with respect to print statement.
Okay.
That end you defined, that is just for space sake, right? After
Yes.
start we need to print the space.
Yes. End equal to space mean to say that I need to give a space. Have a space here, right? Okay. Yes. This
Sure,
print /n is to come to the next line.
Yeah, that is new line. Yeah, I got.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Okay. So how about Sagar, Rakshit?
Yeah, sir, I have a small question.
Okay.
So whatever the looping or that can be done using both while and it can be done also with a for, right? So there is no difference. So when to use and when to use while, when to use for loop and when to use
Yeah,
while.
good question. See, that comes to the use cases. That comes to use cases.
Yeah.
For example, what happens is you already defined. Okay, you already know the size of the loop. You already know the size of the loop to carry out. Okay, for example, I can say, okay, while at the runtime, if you are able to get the value of the number of loops, that is number of statements to execute, we usually follow the while loop. Okay, or else I can say something like there's something called as sorting program. Okay, there's something like sorting program. There, what happens in sorting program and all is, okay, I'm just worried about like number of iterations. Okay, there's number, mean to say that there's no specific time to take for loop at this case or while loop at this case, but there are few algorithms where I can mention, okay, there's something like sorting programs and searching programs. Explicitly, it forces you to use while loop. Okay, I'll share with you. I'll share the document with you. But specifically, to be frank, there's no specific reason to say the here only I must use for loop, here only I must use while loop. The whatever can be handled with for loop can also be handled using while loop also. But in practice, people use while loop very less. They actually use for loop because we say that for loop is fast than compared to while loop. Okay, but specific reason to say that why do you use for loop and why to use while loop, I mean why to use while, no, there's no specific reason to answer this question. Okay, because we usually use for loop sometimes, okay, and sometimes while loop. Okay, so this, I mean, just like, you know, I can say it depends, that's it. Okay, it depends on where to use, when to use. People is a use case, what you can say, as simple as that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I can share you one of the, I can show you some cases where when to use, you know, for or when to use while. Okay, or else I can say something like the number of iterations is fixed. Okay, I can tell one example, Sagar. I want you to concentrate. Okay, I can say one example where you're doing with the compile time. If you know about compile time and runtime, I'm using the use cases where you know the number of iterations to carry out. Okay. You know that it has to be executed for 10 times. Then directly use for loop. But your execution of the loop depend on the previous case. That's it. There is some other function running in the backend. There's some other function or some other loop running in the backend, and your loop is dependent on that function. In that case, I use while loop.
Okay. It is dynamic.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, if the number of iterations you already know before, then go with the for loop. But your number of iterations to follow depends upon the next condition, depends on some other loop or some other condition statements or something like that. Then you have to go with the while loop.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Good question. Good question.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Rakshit? Rakshit, is it audible for you? Okay, I think there's a voice problem. Okay, fine, guys. Like this, okay, shall we wind up for today's session? Okay, and people who join late, don't worry. Okay, I'll be uploading this. Okay, and you can revise it. And I want people to post the assignment. Okay, if in case while working on the assignment, if you have any doubts, you can post in the WhatsApp group. Okay, and the thing is, so I given an option for you people to ask any questions. So, and you people told that it's very clear. So I assume that you people will do assignment without fail, and I want you people to do it. Okay, any questions and queries? Okay, you can ping through the Google Classroom. Okay, what we have created, or through the WhatsApp group. Okay, shall we wind up for today's session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Have a happy
Thank
weekend.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Hello.